Okay, now we're on to part 4, question 4 of English Language Paper 2, which will be on Friday the 6th of June, starting at 9 a.m. I am now moving on to a new colour of highlighter. I'm using my orange one for this. So remember, I did say about taking 3 highlighters into the exam, because you'll be doing so much annotation and highlighting onto your insert booklet in the exam. It is handy having a few different colours of highlighters just to make sure that each question is really distinguishable when you are writing at speed. I'm now highlighting my question 4, and I'm highlighting again those command words in the exam. You are thinking about the whole of source A and the whole of source B here, and you are comparing how the writers present their attitudes, feelings, perspectives, point of view on a specific topic. The bullet points that the examiners give you in this exam are really helpful. It tells you could do a series of things. However, it's probably indicating that you actually should. You should use specific references from the text. You should comment on differences or similarities in feeling and perspective. The other thing you need to make sure you do for this question is comment on the methods that the writer has used to create that specific feeling or perspective or attitude. What I'm doing now on this exam question is writing down that I get 20 minutes for this question. I'm commenting on how we could talk about perspective and point of view as well as feelings and attitudes, my focus of the question, and also I'm reminding myself that I need to use comparative connectives such as similarly, whereas, in addition to, this parallels, and that is something that you should probably revise if you're struggling a little bit to form this answer making a clear comparison. Part of this exam question is using references from both sources, as well as thinking about how the writer has built a specific meaning, tone, attitude with the words that they've chosen. So I'm now looking through both of the extracts, and I'm, again, as I have been the whole way through, tracking with a ruler just to help me decode and really garner meaning from what the writer is trying to say. One of these sources was an extract from a book written by an archaeologist, and the other was a letter by someone who was travelling around Egypt with her brother who was an archaeologist. So whilst they both had quite similar purpose, the actual tone, attitude and feeling towards Egypt was quite different from both of the different texts. So I'm reading through, trying to gain a specific understanding. And what you can see me doing here is just doing a little bit of a mini plan underneath the question. So just because I am trying to navigate 2 whole sources, I've summarised what each extract is in terms of feeling, perspective, attitude. With the way that my brain works personally, I find that this is one of the best methods just to have those little bits of summaries of extracts, just so I feel really confident and comfortable when I go ahead to start writing, and I don't have to keep referring back for anything other than my quotations. You can now see me going through source B, and again, I'm highlighting anything that I think is appropriate for this question. With it being a 16-mark question, we are going to try and aim to do roughly 4 paragraphs, so we will need a minimum of 2 quotations from each source. The quotations that we need to choose, though, do need to be really, really method-rich, because we do need to make sure that we're saying 3 things about 3 things again. Now that I've finished reading my source B, you can see again, I'm just making a really brief summary of what happens in the source before going on to write some of the sentence openers. These sentence openers, as with all of the others, are available on Google Classroom in a document. We also have, as I've mentioned before, those past papers full of different questions that you can try, making sure that you use a timer and putting 20 minutes on the clock so that you're being really specific with yourself for timing. In addition to all of this, you can go onto YouTube, have a look at Mr. Brough and Mr. Sal's for some extra top tips and guidance.